Today I am telling you the story of Tumbar, a movie from 2018. It was quite a horror movie and it got some good respect and people loved this. Let us spend some time and listen to the story of the movie. The movie starts in the backdrop of an ancient saying of a Hindu mythology that earth is the womb of the goddesses of prosperity with endless wealth and food. The goddesses gave birth to many gods, among them Hastar was the firstborn child and was her favorite. But Hastar was very greedy. He wanted all the wealth and food from the goddesses. He captured the source of endless wealth, but other gods stopped him from taking the food. They began to attack Hastar, and he was fragmented into pieces. The goddesses saved Hastar with a condition that he will never be prayed and his name to be removed from the entire history. One tribe near the village of Tumbar started praying to Hastar in greed of immense wealth and unlocked the wrath of gods, which showers down on the village in form of rain. In the next scene, we see that a widow runs to the old fortress to meet the old man, Sarkar, to spend time with him and please him. She was constantly worried about an old lady waking up before she reaches home. For the purpose of the story, I must tell you that the old lady is a cursed witch with an eternal life and is centuries old. The woman has two kids. One is Vinayak, the elder one, and the younger one is Sadashiv. In the next scene, we could see the two kids running down towards their house drenched in rain. The child prepares some food and tries to take it to the witch, when their mother stops them from entering the chamber and serves the food herself. Inside the room, the lady cuts the nails of the witch, who was shackled in chains. Suddenly, the witch wakes up and cries that she doesn't want to live anymore. The woman says a phrase, "Go to sleep or else Hastar will come." This magic words puts the witch to sleep. Moving forward, we could see the frail old man died, while the woman watches her burning pyre and decides that she will leave for town with her two kids. The elder child, Vinayak, wants to ask the witch about the treasure buried inside the fortress. While playing, the younger child Sadashi fell from the tree and dies on the way to the doctor. Vinayak left alone in the house to feed the witch. His mother reminds him if the witch attacks, he must say the phrase, "Go to sleep or else Hastar will come." The witch softly asks the child to come inside the room from behind the locked doors. The kid entered with a light, which startled the witch. She opened the shackles and chased the kid and put Vinayak in chain and dragged him to her room. Vinayak was about to be eaten alive when he remembers the phrase and put the witch to sleep. The grieving mother came back to her child and left the village. On the way, the mother gave Vinayak the gold coin that was in the Sarkar's fortress. The child promised never to come back to Tumbar. The movie takes us forward by 15 years. Vinayak has turned into a man. He turned to his childhood home and went to the witch's room with a lantern. He found the witch to be alive. A tree has grown through her body, as she was bearing Hastar's scars for all eternity. The witch told her the way to the secret vault in Sarkar's fortress and begs for death. Vinayak moved to Sarkar's fortress and digs for the treasure vault. Before leaving, he burned the witch to relieve her from her pain. He came back to his house. When everyone mistakes him for a homeless man, his wife identifies. Some gold coin along with him, and he pays off his debt to his friend Raghav. Raghav was also working with the British to acquire license for opium field and in desperate need for money. In the next scene, we could see Vinayak's wife gave birth to a son, Panduram, who was born with a limp on his left leg. Gradually, Vinayak got addicted to womanizing and alcohol. Raghav brought a young widow to Vinayak as a domestic help. In exchange for money, she informed that Raghav sent her to spy on Vinayak. Raghav reaches Tumbar following Vinayak and searches through the fortress. There, Vinayak knowingly leads him to the well. Upon coming down the well, Raghav discovers a chest and a passage through it. He followed inside, the womb of the goddesses, where Hastar was trapped. Raghav notices a small container which Vinayak left him. Inside the container there was a doll made of flour. As the god stopped Hastar from taking the food, he is hungry for all eternity. The flower doll wakes him up and he attacks Raghav and turns him into a witch. He is now trapped within the goddess's womb. Vinayak enters the womb with a flower doll, which summons Hastar. As he is busy eating the food, Vinayak snatches gold from his clothes and moves up the ropes. Before coming out, Vinayak burns the body of Raghav, who was stuck in the well and cursed by Hastar. He returns back home. While his wife wants to kick the young widow out of her house, Vinayak decides to keep her. The story proceeds 14 years. Vinayak's son Pandurang has grown up but is a bit slow in climbing ropes due to the limp in his leg. The child keeps on practicing despite his limitations. Meanwhile, Vinayak is getting old and is slowed down while climbing trees but fails. Vinayak took his son to the womb and draw a boundary with flower, which Hastar is unable to cross due to his curse. Despite his warnings, Pandurang took a flower doll with him, which awakens Hastar, and he attacks them. Somehow, he managed to escape the womb. Meanwhile, India became independent of British rule. The fortress of Tumbad has been handed over to the government, and Vinayak confronts Pandurang over his liking of the young widow living in her house. Pandurang suggests Vinayak that they should bring multiple dolls made of flour that will buy them a lot of time to snatch a lot of gold before the government confiscates the land. The father and son goes down the womb where Hastar is kept. As soon as they took out multiple dolls, Hastar also multiplied and circles them. The lights of the lanterns they have brought together have come to an end. The oil in the lights they have taken together with them has come to an end, and suddenly it was all dark. Vinayak and his son Pandurang was trapped inside the well. Suddenly Vinayak comes up with an idea and decided to attach all the dolls to his body. That way, when he tries to climb up the rope, Hastar chased him to the top and gets destroyed while coming out of the circle made by flour. Pandurang climbed up alone and found that his dad is turned into a witch like Raghav. Vinayak hands him over a sack of gold he snatched from Hastar and asks for death. Pandurang throws a lantern towards him and lighting him on fire. Thus, Vinayak died in the fire. And this brings us to the end of the story. Friends, if you've liked my creation, please do like and share. Also do comment about the new movies that you want to hear from me, translated from my own language. We'll meet again soon in this channel. Thank you.